beginning of the journey of self-discovery and self-affirmation, the task with which we all encounter at some point in our lives. In this context, education is a crucial aspect to establish personal boundaries and understand the power of the word no. We often find ourselves trapped prioritizing the needs and desires of others, often at the expense of our own interests and well-being. This reflection aims to explore the underlying dynamics of this behavior, emphasizing the importance of recognizing and respecting our own limits. We will discuss how rejecting toxic situations or relationships is not only an act of self-preservation, but also a powerful expression of self-respect and autonomy. In this text, we will examine various aspects of this process, exploring how the ability to say no and maintain a clear direction in life can transform our relationships with ourselves and others, leading to a more authentic and fulfilling existence. Before we begin, review your statement and take the time to leave comments about your perspectives during the video. Let's get started. This intriguing and quite common phenomenon tendency. Many people dedicate their time and efforts to others, often beyond their capabilities and needs. But what is the root of this behavior? It may be an inner quest for personal validation, a deep desire to be valued and accepted. Or perhaps these individuals believe that their self-worth is intricately tied to how they are perceived by others. Many of us, at some point, give away our time and energy to others. But why does this happen? Is it a quest for self-affirmation or a deep desire to be valued? Excessive concern about others' opinions can turn us into real hostages of these processes. If you often find yourself in such a situation, I want to share with you a valuable strategy to reclaim your sovereignty and self-respect. This strategy is simply called leave. It may seem a bit abrupt, but in some circumstances, it is a necessary step to assert your personal power. Throughout our lives, we meet many people. Some do not respect boundaries, others are too dependent or even cruel and selfish. Showing these people that you are willing to leave not only strengthens their independence, but also restores control over their own lives. The power of leave is supported by two fundamental pillars: the ability to say no and having a clear direction in your life. If you often get lost in the desires of others, or, worse, feel that you are being used or disrespected, you are likely to struggle with refusing requests and lack a specific goal. Having a clear purpose demonstrates to the world that you value your time and, consequently, your life. Naturally, this steers you away from situations where your boundaries are not respected. Focusing on your path reduces the need for seeking external approval. Remember, leaving is not just a physical action, but a mindset based on self-esteem and respect. Such a stance sends a powerful signal: you are responsible for your life. Thank you for taking the time to reflect. Leaving may sound like a sudden departure, but at certain moments, it becomes an important action to affirm your autonomy in the face of the script. Throughout life, we intersect with a multitude of people. Some of these interactions are ephemeral, like leaves in the wind, while others root deeply in our hearts. Each encounter, whether brief or enduring, leaves its unique imprint on our personal history. The decision to leave is not always easy. Often it is accompanied by a mix of emotions, a blend of relief with a hint of melancholy. But it is important to remember that taking the reins in our own story is a sign of maturity and self-awareness. Knowing when to say goodbye, when to close the chapter, is a vital skill for building a full and authentic life. In some cases, this choice may seem selfish to others. However, it is an act of self-preservation. By distancing ourselves from situations or people who no longer align with our values or aspirations, we create opportunities for new possibilities and enriching experiences. This journey of personal discoveries is a mosaic of encounters and farewells, each adding a unique color to the broader picture of our existence. These moments of departure, although sometimes painful, are crucial for our growth. They reveal our limits, desires, and most importantly, who we truly are. By sharing these reflections, I hope to spark curiosity and interest in my audience, encouraging them to look at their own stories from a new perspective, full of possibilities and knowledge. Among the many people who cross our paths, some present particular challenges in understanding and respecting personal boundaries. Some of them may be excessively dependent, clinging to us and demanding a disproportionate amount of our time and energy. These interactions, although often well-intentioned, can become draining, creating imbalances in relationships. On the other hand, there are individuals whom we can classify as unpleasant and malicious. Unfortunately, they view social interactions as opportunities for manipulation and exploitation. They may act harshly, using sarcasm, criticism, or offensive behavior to diminish others, seeking their own benefits without considering the well-being of others. Such negative interactions, while complex, offer valuable learning opportunities. They teach us the importance of establishing and maintaining healthy boundaries. Learning to recognize and deal with such personalities is crucial for our emotional health and personal development. It teaches us to be assertive, defend our values, and not allow others to treat us disrespectfully or harmfully. By consciously choosing to step away from those who do not respect our boundaries, we send a powerful signal to both ourselves and them. This clearly shows that we belong to no one, and that we have the power and autonomy to choose who is part of our lives. This gesture of refusal is not only an act of self-assertion, but also an important step towards regaining control over our own well-being and opportunities. This choice to leave can be seen as an act of self-defense and preservation. By distancing ourselves from toxic people or stressful relationships, we care for our mental and emotional health. We prioritize our personal space and invest in our own growth. It serves as a reminder that we are primarily responsible for our happiness and inner peace. Moreover, this measure can have a significant impact on those inclined to overstep boundaries. It can be a call to reflection, an opportunity for them to realize the impact of their actions and, who knows, contribute to changes in their behavior. The ability to walk away is actually supported by two fundamental principles: the confidence to say no and clarity of direction. First, the word no is a powerful tool in the art of setting boundaries. It is simple, straightforward, and effective. By saying no, you clearly communicate your needs, preferences, and boundaries. This act of self-assertion is necessary to maintain healthy and respectful relationships. So, this is a declaration of independence, showing that you control your choices and actions. It's more than just a denial. It's an act of self-respect and self-awareness. It allows us to reject situations that upset us, compromises that overwhelm us, and behavior that does not respect us. When this word is used confidently and respectfully, it is a sign of inner strength and confidence. Secondly, direction is the element that guides us to where we want to go, both literally and metaphorically. Having direction means having goals, aspirations, and a sense of purpose in life. When you know where you are going, it's easier to make decisions and choose paths that align with your values and goals. Direction gives us focus, helping us avoid distractions and negative influences. Together, no and direction form a powerful combination. While no protects us from unwanted external influences, direction keeps us on the path to achieving our goals and dreams. These two concepts are crucial for maintaining personal integrity and moving along a path that truly belongs to us. If you often give in to the whims of others or, in more serious situations, fall victim to exploitation, manipulation, or abuse by others, it may indicate a difficulty in asserting no and a lack of clear direction in life. These are warning signs that deserve attention and reflection. The inability to say no often stems from a desire to please, avoid conflict, or the belief that our needs and desires are less important than those of others. This behavior, though it may seem harmless at first glance, can lead to a cycle of self-denial and resentment and create an environment conducive to being used or abused. On the other hand, a lack of direction can result from uncertainty, lack of self-awareness, or fear of pursuing our true interests. Without clear direction, it's easy to be guided by the will and goals of others, thereby losing the opportunity to live a life that truly belongs to us. Recognizing these patterns within ourselves is the first step to change. It starts with strengthening self-respect and self-awareness, understanding what we truly value and desire for our lives. From there, we can begin to practice self-assurance, learn to say no when necessary, and identify and pursue our own goals and aspirations. The inability to say no and the absence of clear direction in life can indeed lead to a less firm and confident position. When we are not anchored in our own values and goals, we become more susceptible to the influence and interests of others. Such lack of firmness can be perceived by others and, in some cases, unfortunately, exploited. When people see such a lack of direction in someone, they may feel compelled to impose their own will and goals on that person. This can happen subtly or directly, but the result is the same. Ultimately, you may end up living a life that more reflects the expectations and desires of others rather than your own aspirations. It's important to emphasize that having direction in life does not mean having a rigid plan or an unchanging vision of the future. It means having a sense of purpose, knowing what is important to you, and making decisions that align with these values and goals. Leadership provides guidance, an internal compass that helps navigate the complexities and challenges of life. The ability to say no, on the other hand, is an act of self-assertion. It is an acknowledgement and respect for your own limits, needs, and desires. Saying no is not just a rejection of something unnecessary. It is also a statement about yourself and what you value. When people see a lack of commitment to someone else's personal goals, they may actually start to see that person's time as less valuable than their own. This perception can lead to a harmful dynamic where you're expected to prioritize the needs and desires of others over your own. This situation not only diminishes the importance of your time and efforts, but can also set a standard where your own goals and aspirations are consistently sidelined. This dynamic can be subtle and often not done with malicious intent. However, it reinforces the idea that the needs of others are more important, which can lead to a cycle of self-neglect. When you spend most of your time meeting the expectations of others, you may lose the opportunity to invest in yourself and your own goals. This situation highlights the importance of developing a sense of direction and purpose. Having clear personal goals helps establish healthy boundaries and make decisions that reflect your own priorities. This means not ignoring the needs of others, but finding a balance between helping others and taking care of yourself. Additionally, it is crucial to learn how to value your own time and efforts. This involves recognizing your own worth and the importance of your own goals and aspirations. By valuing yourself, you teach others to do the same. From the perspective of those who believe that others are less committed to their own goals, there may be an idea that by spending time fulfilling their demands, you are in some way spending your time in useful service to their interests. This opinion is problematic because it places the value of your time and efforts solely in the context of your usefulness to others, rather than in relation to your own satisfaction and personal growth. Such thinking can lead to the belief that your value is inseparable from your ability to be useful to others, rather than recognizing your value as an individual. This approach not only diminishes the importance of your own aspirations and needs, but can also lead to a loss of self-respect and a sense of dissatisfaction with life. It is important to understand that being useful to others is just one of many ways to spend your time meaningfully. The true value of your time is also evident when you work towards your own goals, take care of yourself, or simply do things that bring you joy and satisfaction. By dedicating yourself intensively and intentionally to a personal goal, you engage in a journey filled with meaningful self-worth. This dedication not only reflects a clear definition of priorities, but also resonates as confirmation of the value of your time and your life. This stance sends a powerful signal to both yourself and those around you, showing that every minute is precious and should be used thoughtfully and meaningfully. This choice to live with a clear purpose fundamentally changes the perception that others have of you. People come to see someone who is making a conscious choice about how to spend their time, someone who cannot be indiscriminately used at the will of others. Instead of being seen as a resource available to others, you are viewed as an individual with desires, ambitions, and passions. Commitment to your goals brings several remarkable advantages. Firstly, there is a sense of authenticity and integrity. Their actions and choices begin to reflect their inner values and beliefs, providing a genuine and true sense of life. Secondly, this commitment contributes to an increase in self-respect and, consequently, respect from others towards you. When you value your own time, you naturally teach others to do the same. Additionally, this dedication can serve as a source of inspiration for those around you. By following your commitment and the achievements that stem from it, you become a positive example, encouraging others to pursue their dreams and passions. There is also an important aspect of establishing healthy boundaries. By dedicating yourself to your goals, you learn to say no to demands that do not align with your priorities, maintaining a healthy balance between meeting the needs of others and your own. Furthermore, focusing on your personal goals and aspirations is an effective strategy to step away from situations where your boundaries are violated or when you are subjected to abuse. This ability to distance yourself from harmful environments is crucial in many aspects of life, whether at work, in marital relationships, or even in friendships. In a professional context, for example, a clear sense of direction can help you determine when a work situation becomes toxic or detrimental. Whether it's due to colleagues who do not respect your boundaries or excessive and unbalanced workload, knowing when and how to step back can be vital for your mental health and career progression. Similarly, in personal relationships such as marriage or friendship, the ability to stay true to your goals and values helps identify when these relationships become one-sided or harmful. Often, it can be difficult to recognize and acknowledge that close relationships bring more harm than good. Nevertheless, by focusing on your own needs and goals, you become better able to understand when it's time to resign and seek healthier, more balanced conditions and relationships. This ability to step away is not only a form of self-preservation, but also an act of self-respect. It involves recognizing your own worth and understanding that you deserve to be in situations and relationships that are respectful and mutual. By incorporating these concepts into the descriptive part of the text, it speaks to expanding rights and opportunities and self-defense. It calls on listeners to consider the importance of protecting themselves from harmful situations and to recognize the value of creating conditions that promote their well-being and personal growth. Focusing on your own path leads to a decrease in excessive concern about your affairs and opinions. When you focus on yourself, the need for external approval diminishes significantly. You begin to realize that the only person you truly have to prove something to is yourself. This kind of self-awareness and self-assurance liberates and is fundamental to building an authentic and fulfilled life. Leaving people exposed to violence and a destructive environment is a powerful way to protect their self-respect and integrity. It is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of strength and self-awareness. By making this decision, you choose not to allow your mental health and well-being to be compromised by toxic situations or relationships. Such an attitude also sends a clear signal to the world around you. You are in control of your life. You decide who and what deserves your time and energy. This does not mean that you don't care about friends and family or partners. Rather, it shows that while you love them and value their relationships, you do not depend on them for your happiness or sense of self-worth. Establishing and maintaining healthy boundaries is a way to show that you respect yourself and expect the same respect from others. Taking the walk-away position in trading situations is a powerful signal, especially in a business context. This attitude signals to other parties involved that you have other options and that, while you are interested, you do not depend entirely on this particular business progress. It demonstrates trust and abundance thinking, which can be incredibly influential in negotiations. The mindset of abundance is not necessarily based on having a large amount of money, property, or an extensive social circle. Instead, it is an internal perspective, a state of contentment and confidence in your own ability to achieve and create opportunities. When you operate from this standpoint, you exude self-assurance and confidence, which can be very attractive and convincing to others. This concept also applies to personal relationships. Loving and valuing the people in your life is natural and important, but it is crucial to understand that you do not need them for your own happiness or sense of worth. This understanding allows you to establish healthier and more balanced relationships, where there is no excessive dependency. In trading, being ready to walk away and taking it seriously is often the strongest position. This is because it shows that you are making a conscious choice, not acting out of desperation or necessity. By preparing to leave the negotiating table if conditions are unfavorable, you maintain control and integrity of the situation. This stance not only increases your chances of achieving a favorable outcome, but also ensures that, regardless of the result, you remain in a position of power. You win by sticking to your standards and respecting your own boundaries.